Okay, hello, good day. So today we have this question. So the question says find f prime of f of x equals to square root of x from the first principle. Then find the slopes as point 1, 1 and 4, 2. Right? Okay. So from the first principle, the formula we're going to use here is our first principle formula, which is the y dx, that is f prime of x is the y dx, or let's say it's f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x. That's in the limiting value as dx tends to 0. Okay, so we are going to use this formula. Okay, so what is f of x plus dx? So whenever we have this, we will replace the x here by what is here. That's how we find f of x plus delta x. Okay, so by substitution, f prime of x is going to be limiting value as the x tends to 0 of f prime of x. Just replace this with this. So that's going to be what? Square root of x plus dx minus then f of x, which is square root of x all over delta x. Right? So this is what we do, and that's basically what we have to do. But we need to simplify this further because we cannot just substitute and something was cut. And how do we go about that? Remember sword. We know what is called conjugate of a sword, right? The conjugate of a sword is when you have one sword and another sword here, and there is a sign of positive or negative there. So the conjugate is the opposite of that sign that is between them, right? Okay, so we use it to multiply the top and the bottom so that by the time we multiply, something like this: square root of a plus square root of b. The conjugate of this one is going to be what? Square root of a minus square root of b. And if it is square root of a minus b, the conjugate will be a plus b, right? And this is just like difference of two squares, right? So for difference of two squares, this and this will be square, and that will be a and minus b. We know difference of two squares, that is, you square this one, that is square root of a, you square it, square root of b, you square it, right? Okay, and this is going to give us what? A and square root and square, they will cancel each other, right? And that will be a minus b. So this is how we remove that sort from that equation. So we apply the same principle here, right? Okay, so this is now going to be, so we multiply this one by x plus delta s, because this is minus, this is going to be plus, right? Then we now multiply, we now divide by the same thing because we are introducing this into the system, so we have to neutralize it, right? So x plus delta x plus the x, so that when this cuts this, it's going to be 1, and at the end of the day, 1 is multiplying this, nothing has been offset. That is, the system has not been offset in any way. So it is only 1 that is multiplying that system, which means nothing has changed, right? Okay, so the limit as ds tends to 0 becomes, when this multiplies this, it becomes what? X plus delta x square, right? Difference of two squares, right? Square root of x squared. Then this is going to be the delta x multiplying this. So square root of x plus delta x, right? Plus square root of x. So is this understood? Okay. So this becomes the limit as ds tends to 0. Or when you square, when this one cuts this, that will be what? X plus delta x And when this cuts this, that's minus x, right? So delta x, then x square root of x plus delta x plus square root of x, right? So at this point, subtract, something can be equal to 0 here. When this cuts this, that is plus x minus x, that will be 0, right? Okay? Plus x minus x, that's 0. And at the end of the day, what happens? So we are now left with what? The limiting value. As delta s tends to 0 of delta x all over delta x, then x plus delta x plus x, right? So we see that delta s and delta s can cut each other here too, right? So this becomes the limit as delta s tends to 0, 1 all over x plus delta x plus x. So at this point, we will now introduce the delta s into the system. That is, we introduce this here, where delta s will now be substituted here, right? So that is when the limit will be gone, right? So it will be 1 all over x plus 0 plus x. So that will be 1 all over square root of x plus square root of x, right? So that will be 1 over 2 square root of x. So this is now the f prime of x, right? So this is f prime of x that we obtain now, right? Okay, so now the time we should look for the slopes at this point and at this point. You know, this is x coordinate, this is y coordinate. This is x coordinate, this is y coordinate, right? So we'll just introduce this x into this function and we're going to get the value of that slope because we know this is a slope. The y-ds is a slope of a curve, right? Of a tangent at a point on a curve. So that slope, the slope of that of 0.11, so that's going to be f prime of x when x is 1, right? So that will be 1 all over, because we only have x here, 2 square root of x, which is 1, square root of 1, so which is 1, right? So that will be 1 all over 2. And when the slope is at this point, 4, 2, 4, 2. So what is f prime of x at that point? The x value here is 4. So you put 4 there. So 1 all over 2 square root of 4. So 1 all over 2, 2, which is 1 all over 4. Right? So this is how we get this. So this is the solution to this problem, right? Okay. Like, subscribe, share, and follow our channel. Also, we need your comments. If you have any issues with what you're doing here, you can easily put them down in the comment section. Thank you.